It's time to talk about sex education. Our guest tonight is widely known in Greater Victoria as the Sex Lady. Jennifer Gibson has spent her career providing sexual health education to an estimated 200,000 kids, teenagers, and parents and guardians. And this month, she's celebrating a milestone anniversary. 20 years since she first started as a coordinator of community education services for Island Sexual Health. Jennifer, thank you very much for joining us. 20 years, a long time, many changes. First of all, how has the way you and others teach and approach sexual health changed in that time?
Awesome. Well, Dan, thanks for having me on. It's such a great opportunity to have a conversation. The fundamentals haven't changed, but one of the things, as you know, as a media expert, the media has changed a lot, and our access to information has changed, by leaps and bounds. So we have needed to make sure that our kids have access to accurate information so that when they encounter information through the media, that they can temper the two.
And what do you think, within that context, what do you think are the biggest challenges facing how we educate young people on sexual health and what they're receiving?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things, Dan, is that we want to be proactive. We want to have many conversations about this, just like we would have many conversations about all of the big life topics. One of the great youth that I worked with this year, when I walked into the room, said, "Oh, are you here to do the BLT?" And I said, "The BLT, like bacon, lettuce, and tomato? No, I think I'm in the wrong place." And they said, "No, big life topic." And I was like, absolutely, this is a big life topic. So we need to have many conversations about it. We need to give little bits of information so we can build those foundations, so we can build our comfort, and so we can dispel myths, and so that we can bust shame and stigma and embarrassment.
So of 200,000 kids, teenagers, and parents that you're estimated to have taught over the years, what are those topics, those questions you keep getting?
Oh, well, we call it the P's. So lots of questions about penises, periods, pornography. So lots of questions about that. And, really it's curiosity. We are curious people. We're curious about all kinds of things. And so especially something as dynamic and I think as a force for good as sexuality, of course we have curiosity about that. So lots of questions about, am I normal? Are my feelings normal? Is my body normal? And the answer is, of course, absolutely. We're all our own version of normal.
Do you have a key piece of advice for teenagers, young people trying to navigate their sexuality and sexual health?
Absolutely. Ask questions, look for really good information. If you ask someone a question and, they seem awkward in their answer, ask someone else, because there's people out there who will give you really good information. And I think the other thing is to recognize, especially when we're looking to adults and parents, to give them grace as well, because not all of us have been lucky enough to have these conversations with, the adults in our lives. So sometimes adults are kind of, they're flying by the seat of their pants and kind of I don't really know how much information is too much. And so I think for our young people, have grace with the adults in your lives, and for the adults and for, the elders in the community, is to really just be open and build the conversations about this. And it doesn't have to be awkward. It can be comfortable if we have enough conversations about this, right? If we only talked about math once a year, can you imagine if we had to talk about, the Pythagorean theory, once a year? You would be so nervous and anxious about it. So, when it comes to sexuality, I always think that let's talk about the uality piece. Yes, those first three letters are exciting and, vivid, and, we bring all our own stuff to it, but it's the uality piece. It's the communication, the care, the consent, the compassion, right? The comfort.
Jennifer Gibson, we appreciate your time and your perspective over 20 years. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, Dan, thank you so much. Be well. Take care.